Hello, casuals. Welcome to the Casual Experience Show. And we're here once again. We're back from the AKO. And I'm here once again with my guys, Shexy,
Bro,
and Black Child.
Always a pleasure being here.
always a pleasure too.
We went, we saw,
We
And we
conquered.
conquered.
we conquered.
Yes.
Well, individually, collectively, we had our experiences, but individually, I'm sure we all had our own individual experience. Me, for one, I had my own experience. Shexy, is your first time watching a fight live?
Directly from the octagon.
Yes. So, watching, how was your own experience?
The experience was great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think getting there, going in, seeing the octagon for the first time. What I felt deep inside is I can't wait
To
for
fight.
UFC.
Oh.
For UFC to be live.
I was thinking you say you can't wait to get into the octagon.
No. You know I cannot fight. So I'm looking forward to when UFC will be live in
Yes.
Africa.
Yes.
And the experience was actually great. I love seeing the muscles, the guys, their builds, the way they are looking physically fit, coming into the octagon, they are walking.
Yes.
The experience was actually great. And the fights are awesome.
And AY too. Our first time interviewer on Casual Experience. How was your own experience too?
We're in Abuja together.
Yes.
We didn't have this kind of experience we saw in Lagos. In Abuja, we went as fans.
Yes.
Just to watch. But in Lagos, we were all over the place. We were behind the scenes,
Yeah.
interviewing fighters. I think my most exciting moment was interviewing. What got me really thrilled about this whole experience was going to anybody I approached, for an interview. Never declined.
Exactly.
Everybody was ready, because of the casual experience. We're there,
Yes, in
in
full
fully kitted with our.
And we almost missed the
We
fight.
almost missed the fight. We arrived like 4 fights into the event, and we missed I think 3 fights. But still, when we got there, quickly we got into we got into the fight and everything. Everybody I approached, wanted to be interviewed, and that was my exciting part of the fight.
And we leaving from Abuja. All the journey itself.
It was fun.
Even while going to the arena.
The arena.
We were like,
I remember I had to use the Google map to be sure of the time we have to use before we get to the venue.
Yeah.
But I didn't think we missed anything.
No, we didn't miss.
anything at all.
Even though we arrived a bit late,
We're watching some of the fights even in the vehicle.
Exactly.
We made use of the small time we had in the venue.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot was actually achieved.
A lot was achieved. We had personal interaction individually
yes.
with the fighter, some of the fighters. I think I saw you talking to Superman.
Yes, that's Chad
Superman,
the guy
yes,
from South Africa.
Yes, and AY was behind the scene. Today now you were saying you hardly watched the fight because you were you were with Yahuza behind the octagon. You were outside.
I was outside. I was with Vinicius.
Yes.
So interviewing supporters also who came to experience the fight. So I was all over. I barely saw a fight.
But normally, is that how promotion-based scenes are? They don't just allow any media outlets. We didn't come as a media outlet though, but kudos to AKO. Yes. They took us with their open arms, and they were just free access, like open access to promoting the fighters, promoting yourself, because it's more or less like I rub my hand, you rub my kind of thing.
Exactly.
They didn't look at us like we are a promotion. It just has to be our camera. It just has to be, and the fighters themselves even acknowledged the fact, seeing us and accommodating.
I like the fact that that's just the word. I like the fact that they are accommodating. They want to know what you are up to, what you're doing, and for the fact that you are even giving them that opportunity to put themselves out there.
Yes,
they really tried.
So did you become a fan of any of the fighters?
Superman became my friend. I love his status.
Yes,
I love his status.
And AY, you seem to have more time with Mulumba, the main event guy.
Yes. It's someone we didn't know much about going into Lagos. We all supported Ayana going to the fight. We all surprised the way he dominated him.
My guy.
No, it was a good fight. The way he dominated him the whole fight.
Yes.
And we're all disappointed for the result, but we're happy for Mulumba.
But I think
I was going to point on that. Do you notice that it's what happens between even fighters when the fight finish? There is no kind of animosity. Even though we know that Ayana was our guy supporting, you had no way but to admire the skill of Mulumba.
The way he dominated,
we didn't see him out like you beat our guy and all. It was still like you admire that this guy, he did something great there. He did something good in the ring.
Also because, like you said, they accommodated us.
Yes.
Mulumba was one of the last people we interviewed. He waited for us to finish interviewing.
And he wasn't even speaking in English.
Exactly. He had the translator. His coach was the translator. So, kudos to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even Chad, I like the fact that he was so interested in the interviews because you had to interview Mulumba before,
and he waited.
Also.
Yes.
And Chad said we can actually have a video interview with him.
Even the commenmenters and
that's Young Jollof.
Young Jollof.
We spoke with Young Jollof. The guy on Dread too.
What's his name? I forgot.
I had, and we know there was a lot of networking and just good vibes.
Even a Big Brother contenter.
Femi.
The dancers?
Yes.
You I recognize
I had an interview with him.
You did?
Yes, outside.
Oh, wow, that's great. I love him because he used to have a partner there in the Big Brother.
Yes.
Mickey. I was even asking of Mickey because Mickey has that stature of a
fighter.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was why I was asking.
And
of
it just
him.
shows the length at what fight or the speed, the rate at which the fight game is picking up. Everybody, you saw females, women cheering for fight and actually enjoying themselves.
I interviewed two female supporters, fighters who came to watch us. Two female supporters who came to watch also, and they were excited to be there. He told me how it was their first experience, how they're willing to come again another time. So it was a good experience for everybody, all around. Tobi, what you were in Abuja and now in Lagos? Which one do you feel was the bigger occasion?
AKO, that AKO 5, was my own first time watching live fights, and we were even there before the fight started.
We actually opened the gate.
Yes, we opened the gate, and we were seeing. That was my first time cage side, seeing blood spattering.
Wow.
I was shouting. I was out of my mind because I was like, "Oh, is it?" And then one thing I noticed, I don't know whether it's an obvious thing to you guys too.
Okay.
The fighters always seem to look bigger on the TV.
In camera, yes.
Yeah.
Then when we see them, I'm like the Mulumba, I feel he looked bigger than Ayana, even in real life. Even the Chad Superman, the person he fought, he looked physically more stronger, but when they come close to you, so I was comparing it to them UFC fighters in 185 class, the same middleweight. I'm like, is this how Israel looks?
I understand because I'm almost the same size as Yahuza. I was standing next to him and I was much bigger than him even
coming into the octagon. I had to move closer to look at Mulumba against Ayana.
Yes,
and I discovered that coming in, he was looking
bigger because we're looking at him on the screen.
Yes, but when he was in the octagon, he looked
a bit
much more
smaller. Yes.
Yeah.
So the experience in Lagos was just electrifying, mind blowing. It's something we can't wait to do again.
Always. And in fact, whether it's the EFC, whether it's the PFL, whether it's the UFC, any fight promotions that come into our country, our neighboring countries, we are going to go and watch, and we are going to go and promote our own local grassroots fighters. But some of the results, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I was the same thing. I was just going to although we arrived late, watching some of the fights, which was the most exciting for you?
For me, the most exciting was this Yahaya versus Odogwu.
Oh yes,
that impacted the guy's face.
But Odogwu took the fight. I interviewed Odogwu.
Yes.
He told me he took the fight
on short
3
notice.
days on short notice.
It wasn't his initial,
and he wanted the fight. He said he's a fighter. is ready for anybody.
Is that an English speaker?
Yes, very good speaker. I interviewed him. Very good speaker. I took his number. He wants to be here also. He wants to be with us very soon.
Good.
So he took the fight on short notice, and I was surprised by his performance. He said he wanted to fight.
Okay.
He wanted to box with Yahuza, but Yahuza just kept on wrestling him to the ground, and he didn't want that. He didn't prepare for that.
Yes.
So that fight, the Yahuza's tactics surprised him,
and it diminishes energy. Constant wrestling and
this
grappling.
guy's submission in his fight too. I think that was impressive. Superman,
yes.
The way he submitted the guy, yes.
The third round, I feel.
I think it's third round.
There is technique to all these things that these guys do. Because I was like, he's at his neck, rear naked choke. You feel me as a normal casual, like this is what I see.
Exactly.
Then, but you saw that he actually adjusted. It's only him that and a fighter that is at his skill level that can explain what was going there. And the commentary, kudos to the commentary team, they were trying to break it down at every stage at what he was doing. But the fight I saw that I rewatched but we missed was the very first fight.
Okay.
Sama Teresa?
Yes, Sankara and David Emmanuel.
Yes.
He finished him with a standing guillotine.
I saw it.
I saw it. By defense.
Yes, by defense. He finished him with, like, it was just a technical, beautiful finish.
It made me remember John Jones' submission against
Matida.
I think it's by defense.
Yes,
too.
And it was the first round.
It was the first round. He just finished him and just dropped him down
on the ground. I think John Jones did the same thing.
Yes, he did the same thing. He just a killer mentality.
Yeah. I know this Sankara also fought in Abuja here and won.
He did too.
So that was his first fight in Abuja. Now this second fight. So maybe lots to expect from him.
Now we just have a market, a farm of fighters to tap to, and this is the avenue. This is the channel to promote you guys. Fight. We are the casuals.
Exactly.
The name of our show is the Casual Experience because we see things from the casual experience, from the casual perspective and views. But when fighters come, obviously we can always peek into their brain to see or like, how do you guys do this thing? Me for one, I would want to ask a proper fighter how does the weight cut thing is?
Oh yeah.
Because you'll see the two fighters are fighting at 185. And you can see that when they are in the cage, one actually looks bigger than
the other.
But it doesn't make any technical difference if you are skillful.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, how do you drain yourself to a certain amount, then you rehydrate to a certain amount, or how does it go?
And that goes to the featherweight category we saw between Mulumba and
Ayana.
You know, we could see the difference. What do you think?
Yeah,
what do you guys think? We could saw it. Everybody saw it.
And from the skill set, I think Ayana is a striker.
He's a kickboxer. He's a kickboxer. Yes. He was trying to kick his distance, but Mulumba was just all over him. Was all over. And do you know one thing I noticed? And they consciously do it. I'm sure I'm right on this. When you want more exciting fights,
they
make the cage smaller. There are different sizes of octagon rings. Yes,
I think this ring is smaller.
Or smaller
because they don't want the fighters to. They don't want to create too much distance. They want it to be crowded between them, so
they don't have space to.
Yes, but when you are promoting a fighter like Ayana, that is a kickboxer that needs range, that needs distance. That's why when you see in the UFC, when you see Conor McGregor or Anderson fighting kickboxers that actually need range, they fight in a bigger octagon, so you can see them pouncing and prancing around. But I know the AKO backboard, they know what they are doing. I felt they were trying to promote Ayana, and Mulumba wasn't the person to face at that moment,
because it was it was too strong for him.
I'm a lover of people that strike. I'm not really a fan of people that wrestle, grapple.
But you know there are technicalities to it. Even the grappling,
I know there are technicalities to it. But like Ayana, I was expecting to see him with somebody that will strike with him, that will be on that same level of punches.
If Mulumba is struggling,
because if Mulumba was to strike with Ayana, I don't think he will be able to dominate Ayana the way he did.
That's why there are different skills.
There are different skills.
The woman category too. Our own Dose, that Nigerian police woman, 20 years old. The person she fought was 36 years old. He's 36 years old. The Moroccan woman, 16 years gap. The experience was just too much and too. It was just you could see there was a glaring gap in the experience. Yes, in the fight.
You just spoke about the size of the ring. Do you think the fact that 7 out of 10 fights ended in the first round had the?
I think it's a part of it. It's intentional. They want to create exciting fights for the fans.
Because it's just 3 rounds. Also.
Yes, it's just 3 rounds. Also, yes. So
you don't even have the space to move around.
Waste time.
Yes, to move around.
You just have to engage.
You're always engaged.
Yes, you just have to engage.
Maybe it's because from our view. The Abuja's ring seems to be the same, but someone like Ayana had space, maybe because of the opponent he was fighting
in AKO 5.
Yes,
right?
in AKO 5, he had the space.
The person was a striker.
Yes, the guy who was a striker, and he just that was when he drew me to his heart. An encouragement to all fighters that that had losses. You didn't lose, you just learnt.
Yes. Exactly.
It's unfortunate there's also an elimination.
Elimination. And that thing I'm saying that I would want. I don't know if you guys know. They keep saying is the AKO event. I've read about it, but they keep saying it's elimination. Yes, the yesterday card, they said it was semi-final.
Yes, they were saying it's semi-final. I think we really need to study into.
Yes, but there were fighters that were coming from losses to fighting.
It's an elimination. Now, those who lost in Lagos are eliminated. There are people, there's a ranking. Every category has a ranking.
Okay.
So there are people ahead of them who they must keep on fighting.
Okay.
Like Ayana now, Yahuza is going to fight someone who is ahead of him. So Mulumba, although he's number 1, will still fight someone also in because the person who we lost to, Mulumba.
Who is that?
Who Mulumba defeated?
Ayana.
Yeah, Ayana was number 5.
Okay.
In the category.
In the same weight category.
The same weight category. So there's a list, and they keep on eliminating each other to get to the final.
Okay. So what's the end goal of the winner? Like a belt?
I guess it's a belt. And maybe promotion. Maybe that's when Usman will now finally
look into the person.
Yes.
And that's why we did a lot of networking on our own parts. So I'm sure
the networking was actually great.
Yes, I'm sure we'll have one or two of the organizers like Young Jollof to come here and explain to us and the fans the whole setup of what is happening.
In-depth study of how the fights have been, the elimination and all those things.
Most of the Nigerians were also involved. Of course, we are Nigerians, although we are watching Africans fight. Won most of their fights.
The Nigerians?
Yes. Only the final one, of course. The main one.
Emmanuel and Dosey, two Nigerians.
The main bout was the only one.
And Ayana too. 3.
So, it was a good night for Nigerian fighters and for the whole experience, casual experience. Like I said, it was an exciting and very thrilling experience, interviewing all those fighters.
Yes.
Getting there. Like I said, casual experience. We're doing so much, there's so much we can do, because what I saw that night, was big. Like I said, you go to anybody I walked up to was excited about being interviewed.
Yes.
That just gave me joy.
Yes.
Our production manager, the Full Spirit, was always telling me, go there. I'll be doubting, but when I get there and I talk to the person is willing.
They're ready to listen.
You had your press.
Yes.
Exactly. And then the face cap, fully clothed in the full casual experience. So beautiful experience.
We're branded, fully branded.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here for. For the fans that are watching the fight, you want to hit on something?
It's just the experience, actually. I will also give kudos to the crew, because the crew of the casual experience, they really did a wonderful job. I don't want to be mentioning names, but I know they did a perfect job.
Yeah.
And one of my best guys among them is my photographer. He cracks me up. He makes me laugh. And I will mention him, Fapa. They did a wonderful job, and the night was actually a very, very, very great night. We were able to, the networking was, it gave a lot of joy. We were able to really, really network, meet people and get to know, okay, this is casual experience, this is what we do. And they are also interested in coming on the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
So which is a big one for us.
And also amongst ourselves, just the team building, going together, traveling,
the unity and
flying
all.
there,
It was great.
staying together in an apartment till the following day, chilling us at the playing PlayStations, snooker, table tennis, the whole, this whole experience was beautiful. It was fun. I can't wait to do it again.
In fact, I can't wait too.
I really can't wait.
And for going forward, we'll be going from countries to countries.
Yes. Amen. In Las Vegas.
Yes, we go watch, you cover UFC fights and cover even AKO. AKO to have their own dream. That's why they call African Knockout Championship. They are just starting, like they are holding events in Nigeria. Their point, I'm sure that's not their end point, and that's not their end goal. If it was only for Nigeria, it would have been the Nigerian Knockout Championship. It's the African Knockout Championship,
Yes.
and I'm sure the promotion in South Africa too, the EFL too, they would have been looking at there are a lot of talents too in Nigeria. Apart from the fighting talents in Nigeria, the Nigeria even has a podcast or a media channel that is fully into fights.
Exactly.
And we just, as a whole in Africa, both promotion and podcast and channel, we just all grow together. Even the fighters themselves, them coming, we talking to them, and hearing their own perspective at the level at which they are, because I'm sure they have their own goal and aim to that. One day they'll probably fight.
What they are aspiring to.
Yes, one day I'll fight in the UFC. Just like one day we are aspiring that like we would cover fighters in the UFC and T2. And it's just we grow and we become bigger than our imagination.
Yes,
It's bright, man.
Very much so.
Bright.
And for the fans and for the casuals that watch us and understand and like and tag us, which we say thank you to you for the new contacts and the new avenues that we have now through the fighters, the promotions that will be watching us too. We thank you, and we can't just wait to have you here and just. I'm sure Segun wants to ask a fighter some certain question.
The first question that I want to ask them is their mindset going into the octagon, because I don't know how you program your mindset going into somewhere that you will be beaten, like you will receive damages, and you still be able to tell your mind that I will not give up.
And you don't even have any form of beef or anything with the person.
Exactly. And then get all that build up just to fight.
Yes.
Exactly. So the thing is something that I'm looking, and there's one that Tobi used to talk about, even when we were together, that we used to talk about fights. He always say that when they knock somebody out, where did he go?
You won't ask fighter that.
You remember?
You want to ask the fighter
For
that?
a few seconds,
Where was
you?
Where did he go to?
No,
it's something that I would like to
see the
ask.
person that knocked the person out, his own people or his own fan are cheering.
They're cheering.
Yeah, someone, and that person is gone, almost
cold.
close to
Yes,
death. But you'll be fine though.
You'll be fine. You'll
But
come back.
like, where is
But
this
that
guy?
few time he was out, where was he?
Because Ayana, when Ayana was defeated, for those few minutes, you knew it was.
It was.
Even until they left the venue, we saw him
Yes.
leave. He was disappointed, Yeah. But not like you said, you want to ask the fighters. Me, I want to ask the fighters. When I interviewed them, most of them said they were injured during training. Most of them said they were injured during training. They wanted to pull out, but still, like you said, they still get into the fight. So
the mindset
need to get into their head.
Yes, and we'll have the avenue here to you have the avenue to hear your view, say what you want to say, and likewise us, the casuals, will have the avenue to ask you questions. I know it was not the questions he wanted. He has other questions that he wanted to ask, because all the time,
plenty questions,
and it's going to be a great time for you fans, for us, and for everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you always, AY Black Child.
Pleasure.
I give kudos particularly to you and Segun for following us and being with us and doing more than like. You guys are friends indeed.
The pleasure is mine.
Thank you. Guys, the UFC fight, we supported AKO so much that we did, like, there was UFC event was happening yesterday. UFC Macau.
That was
Yes. Peter Yan, No Mercy, defeated Davison Figueroa, the God of War.
Oh, wow.
And it was an entertaining 45-40 scorecard.
So what's next for Yan?
I think he called out Merab.
Merab is holding the belt.
Merab is in the bantamweight, and he's supposed to fight Umar Nurmagomedov.
Okay.
But as he is, the UFC would always do what he wants and give the fans the best. So guys, see you at the next show.